The Rachel Hollis Podcast is proudly sponsored by Amica Insurance. As Amica says, empathy is our best policy. That's why they'll go above and beyond to tailor your insurance coverage to best fit your needs. Whether you're on the road, at home, or traveling along life's journey, their friendly and knowledgeable representatives will work with you to ensure that you have the right coverage in place. Amica will provide you with peace of mind. Go to amica.com to get a quote today.
Whistle while you work.
From Disney on March 21st, the magical tale
Snow White.
Snow White?
Snow White.
that started it all
I believe you're looking for me.
arrives in theaters.
Magic mirror on the wall.
Experience the Disney classic
Who's the fairest one of all?
like never before.
We haven't even been introduced yet.
Disney Snow White, only in theaters March 21st. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Y'all, if we make a decision and it's the wrong one, I promise you, you can make a decision again. If you right now at the start of this relationship, earlier in the relationship, if you guys get into a habit of we're going to make the best decision that we can with the knowledge that we have, if you right now get into that mindset of we're going to make the best decision, and if it's wrong, we're going to be really honest about it. Really honest. Oops, okay, shouldn't have done that. But you know what? There were good things that happened. We sold the house, we made a little money, we got to spend a little bit more time with your mom, whatever. But it's time to go. If you guys can establish that now, the next 50 years are about to be level ups upon level ups. Hey guys, it's Rach. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. And I have a favor, which sounds kind of harsh if we just met, but I'm assuming that most of you have been a part of this community for a hot minute. And so I gotta ask, are you subscribed to the podcast? Subscribing to the podcast you listen to regularly is one of the best things that you can do for hosts like me. It helps to support the show and the staff that works on it. It ensures that you never miss an episode when we drop a new one. And here's the cool thing about subscribing. If you do it and then you hate this show, just unsubscribe. It's one click away. In the meantime, if you're listening, we would so appreciate it if you would just tap that button and make it official. Hey guys, it's Rach. Welcome to a new episode of the show and a new conversation in our series called Ask Rach. This is where listeners call in from all over the world and ask me anything. You and I are going to listen to these voicemails at the same time, so just know that you are getting my real, in the moment, here's what I'm thinking. Maybe you think something different, which is really fascinating. But either way, I always like to remind people, I am just a gal that you know on the internet. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a professional in any sense of the word, unless we're talking about eating cheese-based dips. Other than that, here's just some advice from a random person you know on a podcast. All right, let's see our first question today. All right, this one says it's about a dream, and there's maybe nothing I love talking to you guys about more than dreams and goals, so let's hear what it says.
Hey, Rach. My name is Mary. I'm in California. I just had a quick question with dreams. I went into 2024 with tons of energy because I had these dreams on my heart, and over the course of the year, I pursued them. But they're those. It's a huge dream, and it's going to come this year. I'm gonna succeed in it, and this year, though, I have to put a lot of energy into this dream, physical energy. And so I guess my question is going into this year, I feel so much less motivated and organized than I was last year because I'm putting so much effort into this one dream. And so it's really kind of consuming a lot of the energy that I used last year. I guess the question is when I'm looking at going after these big, huge, audacious dreams that are scary to tell people, how do you not keep your momentum even towards the dream, but kind of still keep your energy up and live the rest of your life to where you live it with energy and connection and making sure that that one dream doesn't kind of eclipse all else or anything else that's more of a smaller thing working towards? I know go all in on one dream, but I just wanted to see if you had any advice on that. Thank you so much for everything, and I appreciate it. Bye.
Okay, Mary. I actually had to go back and re-listen to that again because I was like trying to hone in on exactly what might be going on. I always wish that I could have these conversations with y'all in person because I think sometimes we just need a little bit more context to offer what I hope is good advice. But what it sounds like to me is that you have been working super hard on a dream. You said you started at the beginning of 2024. We're a couple months into 25. So you've been working on it for over a year. And you're saying that the dream is going to come to fruition this year. But you have been putting so much energy, physical energy, emotional energy, like all the things into accomplishing this dream. And perhaps I'm reading between the lines, but it sounds to me like maybe other things have fallen by the wayside, like maybe your personal life is suffering or your relationships are suffering. And you're asking, I think, how you can be more balanced. Controversial advice. When we are aiming at something really big, like it sounds like you are doing, you can be more balanced in life. And I'm saying more balanced, not completely balanced, because I think work-life balance is an absolute myth that we have been fed. It is not true. It never happens. I have never been balanced in any even day in my life. There's always something that tugs more on my heart based on what's going on. In the couple of years after my children's father passed away, so much of my work really suffered because that was a time I needed to be way over in the direction of personal life and family life and mama, double, triple down on showing up for the kids and helping my family to navigate the grief and what came next and how to do all of that stuff. There's a real reason that I produced less. I didn't have as many podcast episodes. I didn't write as often. I didn't do all of these things. And that is okay because that is real life, right? Real life is never going to be in balance, even if you don't have kids. Most people, unless you're like a hermit living in the middle of nowhere, off the grid, in which case you're definitely not listening to this show, most people have family, friends, responsibilities that tug on them in different directions. So number one, let's all just let go of the idea that we're ever going to be completely balanced. Now, here's my controversial opinion. If you had been more balanced in pursuit of this big goal, you wouldn't already be able to achieve it after 14 months. And maybe it takes you to the end of 2025, but you said like, I'm going to achieve it this year. 2 years for a really big goal is actually very fast. I am positive, Mary, that there are people listening to this right now who've been working on their dream for a decade and freaking wish they could do it in 2 years. There is a path where you are more balanced, but that might mean that you don't move as quickly. And this is kind of for anybody who's listening to our conversation today. It's a worthwhile question to ask. Do you want to pursue the goal all in with your whole heart, with your whole being, and get there quicker? Or do you want to have a life that feels a little more grounded and centered? Because I have found that those two things, they don't always exist simultaneously. I think there is a lot of conversation on social media and the internet and writings that are like, oh, you can have it all, right? It's BS. No, we can't. You can have a lot of things in your life. You can experience a lot of incredible things in your life, but I don't know that you can experience those all at one time. I have found my journey to be a little bit of this and a little bit of that and never an equal measure. So I guess I would just like to encourage you, man, please don't take your foot off the gas if you're this close to achieving your goal. Because what you're doing right now, it's clearly working. If you know for a fact the goal is going to happen, like, good for you. It's working. This is amazing. Don't take your foot off the gas right now. But you can also have a very clear path in mind. I'm going to finish this commitment that I made to myself. I'm going to achieve this goal. And then I'm going to take a real hard look at the kind of life I want to live. I think a lot of us who have experienced success against some goal that we set for ourselves have our own version of that. I've told y'all before, like 2018, Girl Wash Your Face comes out. 2019, Girl Stop Apologizing comes out. I'm on the road constantly. I'm doing keynotes galore. Like, if there was an audience of women in 2018, 2019, some of you probably were in those audiences. If someone was having a conference for women in either one of those years, there was a solid chance I was the one talking to them. It was like me and Mel Robbins. We were just like doing the thing. And it was everything that I thought I wanted. And then I got it. And I was like, oh, this sucks. I am so depleted. I'm so exhausted. I never see my kids. And for clarity, going on stages and doing keynotes, that was a 7-figure business for me. And I'm not saying that to be a douche lord, because I was raised, you don't talk about money, but I do think it's really important for women to talk about money, especially in business. I'm telling you that because I want you to understand the kind of like success I was experiencing. And it was not worth it to me. But I couldn't have known that until I was in it. We have these goals and these dreams we set for ourselves, but until we actually get where we're trying to go, it's impossible for us to know what it's going to cost. There is not enough conversation about that either. What is the dream going to cost you? And if you are in a season of life where you got the dream and it costs way more than you are willing to pay, that's okay. You can course correct. You can change your mind. You can change your whole life. You can change your attitude. You could be a super hardcore corporate attorney and shift everything and become a yoga instructor doing retreats in Costa Rica, right? You could be a hardcore hippie farmer and decide, actually, I have entrepreneurial dreams. I'm going to change everything. And all of a sudden, I'm trying to take my business public. Like, you're allowed to change gears. But if you got to a place that you thought you wanted, and now that you're there, you realize you don't actually want it that much, don't beat yourself up. That is so freaking normal. And there's no way you could have known what it was going to be until you were inside of it. But my advice as your friend, as your coach, as this random person that you called in to talk to, is please don't give up. Do not take your foot off the gas. Don't even start like, oh, well, should I be putting this much in? You're already in it. Like, at least get across the finish line. At least do that. And then let's change things up. It's worth saying, you didn't say this, but I'm just going to add it in. If you're miserable in this pursuit, if your health is suffering, which is definitely something I was experiencing in 2019, if this is hurting you, okay, let's make some different decisions. But if all that's happening is you feel like you are unbalanced in pursuit of this goal, guess what? Same. Happens to the best of us. Life, if you're lucky, is long. And you will get through this challenge in front of you, and then you'll figure out what comes next. Thank you for your question, Mary. If y'all have a question like Mary, call into the hotline. The number is 737-400-4626. Look, everyone knows that toilet paper is not created equal. Not all rolls are the same. Some are too soft. Some, can we say, sort of crumble, if you know what I'm saying. then other toilet paper is so strong that it can actually hurt. And let's not even talk about the toilet paper that is so thin, it doesn't get the job done. Angel Soft is soft and strong and always affordable. Come on, life is too short. There's too much going on. I don't want to have to overthink this. So pick up a pack of Angel Soft in the toilet paper aisle of your nearest retailer. That's Angel Soft, soft and strong. Simple.
Whistle while you want.
From Disney on March 21st, the magical tale
Snow White.
Snow White?
Snow White.
that started it all
I believe you're looking for me.
arrives in theaters.
Magic mirror on the wall.
Experience the Disney classic
Who's the fairest one of all?
like never before.
We haven't even been introduced yet.
Disney Snow White, only in theaters March 21st. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Let's see what the next person is wondering about today.
Hi, Rachel. My name's Danielle, and I am a very, very long time listener. You have been with me through more than I can imagine. I mean, more than some of my current friends have been there for me. I'm calling in today to ask a question that's been on my mind a lot lately. So I work as a nurse, and I had the opportunity during COVID to travel nurse around the country, which is great. And then my fiance joined me, and we fell in love with South Carolina, which is where we relocated for a while. But then life brought us back home to our home state, Rhode Island, to be near family. And as times are crazy and the world's getting more expensive, I have started to live with the regret that that my fiance and I chose to sell our house in South Carolina and move back to Rhode Island. We miss it down there so much, and we hope to move back in the future. And I guess my question is, how do you go about life living with a choice that you regret so much to the point where you think about it every day and you wish that things were different? I guess it's been a challenge for me, and living with regret wasn't a challenge for me before all of this. So, yeah, I wanted to know your tips and tricks on how to navigate dealing with regret. Thank you so much for all you do. I appreciate all of your podcasts, all of your life guidance, everything that you do for your community. I'll be listening in. Thank you.
Oh, Danielle, honey, this is such a waste of your time and energy. I love you enough to tell you that this is such a waste of your time and energy, and you need to stop giving power to those thoughts. Let's break it down. Number one, every single person on this planet makes the best decision they can with their experience, with the skills that they have, with the knowledge that they have. Even when people make horrible decisions, when they hurt others, that is the best that their brain could do in that moment. When I saw, because producer Jack, he puts y'all's voicemails, he'll like tell me just a snippet of what it's about. And he wrote living with regret. So I was like, oh Lord, someone's like, cheated on a partner or done something really harsh. And come to find out, you just decided to move back home. Who hasn't made a decision like that and then regretted it? That is so normal. And the fact that you're thinking about it every day, might I just offer you a shift in perspective that perhaps this isn't regret, perhaps this is your intuition nagging you that you need to go back where you guys liked it better. Why don't you just do that? And here's the litany that humans, we paid all that money to move and, we just got back and we're in this place and we have a lease and we've just done that. Okay, change your life. Change your life. I know, but we just got here and sunk costs. Those costs are done. Those costs are done. And you will spend so much time and energy and money trying to validate the expense that you already went through, when if you just let go of the energetic pull that has over you, you'd make better decisions for you guys. You'd be so much freaking happier. Maybe the cost that you spent to move back home, maybe that is the cost of understanding how awesome it was where you were before. It's like, have y'all ever been shopping, or maybe you had like a fun lunch with your girlfriends? You're in sort of like a fun state, meaning not like the state of Rhode Island, but like the state of excitement, of happiness. Like you're just feeling good, and you guys go shopping and you try something on at the store and you're like, this is amazing. I never knew that I needed a diamond encrusted wrap dress, even though I live in jeans and sneakers. Clearly, this is who I've always been. And you end up buying something that you just in the moment really feel. And then you get home and you're like, OMG, like I have a diamond encrusted wrap dress. But because it was expensive, or because you remember the feeling of making that choice, you don't take it back. You're like, no, I'll find a moment. I'll find a moment. I'll find a moment. I'll find a moment. And months go by, you miss the return window because you keep telling yourself you're going to, and then suddenly you've had it for a year. And every time you walk into the closet, it's sort of this ghost haunting you of bad decisions that you've made. And you keep telling yourself, I'm going to wear it someday. And maybe you even try that diamond dress on. And every time you're like, what is this? But you hold on to it because you are like, no, I want it to have been worth the money. If you would just let go of things when you know they are the wrong choice for you, y'all, your life would be so much better. You said, your fiance knows, you both are like, we shouldn't have come home. Okay, great. How long are you going to live with the bad decision? Oh, someday we'll get back. No, just right now, ask better questions. Here is a better question. What would need to be true in order for us to move back to South Carolina, North Carolina, whichever one of the Carolinas? What would need to be true in order for us to do that as soon as possible? And then start going through the list and see, well, we need to get a job. We both need to get a job down there. Okay, great. You're a nurse. That feels like, don't we always need fantastic nurses? And I don't know what he does. Like, okay, start the process, start looking. Okay, we need a place to stay. All right, well, they have apartments down there. And yeah, you did used to own a house. And maybe that's where your head's at, is like, well, now the prices have raised and we can't buy a house there. Yeah, but you could be in a city and with people that you really dig. The quality of your life would be improved. Follow where you are being guided. Follow the flow, you guys. Follow the energy. Pay attention to what your spirit is calling for. You call it regret. I call it intuition. I have the New Balance 1080s in 2 different colors. I've got the sort of minty green moment, and I've got the white moment because, you need it for the outfit. The New Balance 1080 is the ultimate daily trainer, combining reliable comfort with top-tier performance. Whether you're logging miles or running errands, the 1080 seamlessly transitions from the coffee shop to the grocery store, offering versatility from everything from everyday to race day. The New Balance 1080 midsoles offer cushion support, and I mean it, you guys. It's like bouncing on top of a cloud. Featuring a lightweight and breathable mesh upper, the New Balance 1080 keeps your feet cool and fresh throughout every run. Shop the 1080 at newbalance.com. It's 2025, guys. And if you are busy, you're working, you're trying to make great choices for your life, your health, your family, you've got to start using Thrive Market. Thrive Market's products are 100% non-GMO and free from over 1,000 harmful ingredients. So when you're shopping on Thrive, you know that anything you find is going to be good for you and your family. Plus, you can scan a product you're used to buying, something that's in your pantry right now, and the Healthy Swap scanner will instantly recommend cleaner, healthier alternatives. The best part about Thrive, I think, is that you put things on a subscription. So when the pantry starts getting low, all of a sudden in the mail is everything you need to restock for school lunches and after school snacks. It is the best. Ready for a junk-free start to 2025? head to thrivemarket.com/Rach and you get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/Rach. thrivemarket.com/Rach. I think you're like, man, I really want to get back. Go. What is the fear? If you get back and you're like, oh crap, we were meant to be in Rhode Island. They're two completely different places. So I just have a hard time believing that would be true. Y'all, if we make a decision and it's the wrong one, I promise you can make a decision again. If you right now at the start of this relationship, earlier in the relationship, if you guys get into a habit of we're going to make the best decision that we can with the knowledge that we have, if you right now get into that mindset of we're going to make the best decision, and if it's wrong, we're going to be really honest about it. Really honest. Oops, okay, shouldn't have done that. But you know what? There were good things that happened. We sold the house, we made a little money, we got to spend a little bit more time with your mom, whatever. But it's time to go. If you guys can establish that now, the next 50 years are about to be level ups upon level ups. Most people make a bad decision and then stay in the bad choice, trying to convince themselves that they can make it right. Oh, I shouldn't have got married to this person. But you know what? I'm pot committed. I've already spent all this time. I've already spent all this money. Like, oh my gosh. Have you ever seen, I don't know why you would have seen this, but like some of the greatest poker players in the world will walk away from, you can see because you're watching it on TV, so you know the cards they're holding, but they will walk away from stuff over and over and over again because they're like, yeah, there's no such thing as pot committed. If it doesn't make sense, doesn't matter how far I've gone, doesn't matter how much money I've put into this, how much time I've put into this, I gotta go when I gotta go. So yeah, I think you need to flip it. I don't think this is regret. I think this is your gut telling you, nope, let's make a new decision. So yeah, don't waste one more second going, I shouldn't have done that. Start asking better questions. How can I get back home? Yeah, that's my idea. All right, guys, if you have a question for me like Mary or Danielle, call into the hotline 737-400-4626. You can ask me just about anything and I will answer it. I will be back soon with more conversation for y'all. Until then, as always, please subscribe because it really helps us here on the show. I love you and I'm rooting for you. The Rachel Hollis Podcast is produced by me, Rachel Hollis. It's edited by Andrew Weller and Jack Noble. Don't miss Grand Slam deals going on now at Academy Sports and Outdoors from March 3rd to March 16th. If you are a sports mom like I am, this is the time of year to get the deals. Get up to 50% off bats, gloves, and training gear from brands like Rawlings, Easton, Wilson, Marucci, Louisville Slugger, and more. Need it fast? Choose same-day delivery powered by DoorDash. Order by 4 p.m., get it by 8 p.m. Shop your local Academy store or academy.com.